Don't come on here talking no shit. To the tens, what is
Okay. Push-ups 80.
that sucks.
I'm better than that.
You can't run at all, you get shin splints. All right, folks, we got a good one today, man. Dr. W on here. Great student, grad student, trying to figure out if he wants to go to SOAS or not. No athletic background. Having real troubles with shin splints and a couple other things, man. Hope you guys get some value out of this video. I know I did talking to young man. You got a rock star right there, folks. You know, I know what they look like. It's just finding out what's best for him. I think it might be Air Force Aviation, but don't tell him that just yet. All right, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, man. We rolling. What are your questions, Dr. W?
What I was planning on doing, as you know, I'm where I am right now as far as schooling, and I was looking to go into. I wasn't interested in any career in my field. And about 2 years ago, I kind of started playing with the idea of going maybe, special operations. I looked at the regular military, didn't interest me as much, but special operations definitely did. More specifically, SEALs. I love the water. I'm a big scuba diver, so that was kind of that aspect that kind of drew me towards SEALs a little bit. Was actually targeting this year's SOAS, training up for it. But listen, I don't come from a military family.
Give me your rough run times, not down to the second, down to like the 10 seconds, right? So like a 9, 10.
Terrible. It was how it went was I was swimming my butt off. My best swim was and this is only 6 months, so this is off of nothing.
It should take you 8 weeks to get ready.
Really?
It took me 7 weeks to get in world-class shape.
Wow, that's actually really reassuring to hear.
But I wrestled. I mean, I just came off the all-Navy wrestling.
Yeah, your
team
background,
like
true.
4 months. I was an athlete. I tell everybody, if it takes you 3 years to get ready, you ain't gonna fucking make it. Let me ask you this: have you thought about going in the Army?
No, and that's what interests me about you, because I know you take a lot of guys that are interested going the SEAL route and recommend Army.
Okay, so your swim is good. What is your run?
Terrible.
Okay, I mean, you told me your sport, right? So I expect everything to be bad. What is terrible?
Yeah. Terrible is I started running. Like you said, I mentioned in the initial message, started getting pretty nasty shin splints. Can I say that?
Never ran. It may take you 2 or 3 years to run enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So and that's why, like, I would tell you, like, you ain't going to SOAS unless you can run 60 miles a week. That's why, like, I tell people like you're perfect for the Army, because you're going to go to basic, you're going to go to OCS. That whole time you're going to get in shape. You're going to have 3 years to get in shape before you got to go to screener. Like, you got to go to RAS2 or you go to SFAS. You'll have 3 years to get ready.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, now it makes sense why you got real bad shin splints. I totally understand. Okay.
Yeah. So it took some time off, and then kind of quickly realized that this SOAS application for this year was pretty unrealistic. Push-ups were, solid, I'd say, for enlisted numbers.
Okay? So listen. Don't come on here talking no shit. To the tens, what is it?
Okay. Push-ups 80.
That sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, sucks for anybody. What's your sit-ups?
100, 120.
Okay, so that's really good. Okay, you gotta be 100, 120.
Yeah.
That's basically the minimums. Okay. Now, if you
because the numbers online are still very off. I know it's like
listen. You didn't call fucking Google. Okay, I'm telling you the fucking truth.
No, I know.
You'll still get to SOAS with and push-ups and sit-ups don't matter that much.
Yeah.
But like, you got to get to SOAS and perform, and you're gonna perform.
No, Jake, I understand that you need to, if you're not banging out 120 push-ups,
you don't need to be doing push-ups and sit-ups. Aren't that important? It's to get to SOAS. You got to have a package that'll get you to SOAS. Now, SOAS ain't that hard to get to anymore, right? I had a guy last year that went with a 10:27 run.
Interesting.
Yeah, he got there. How long do you think it was before he went home?
Pretty quick.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said it's basically like you got to show up in hell week shape.
100%, man. Like they are murdered. Like they got guys falling over, peeing and pooping on themselves on Wednesday. People's bodies are shutting down. They go to hospital with kidney failure on Thursday. It's not because they're doing nothing really hard. My two guys that went to SOAS murdered it. They were in shape. Murdered it.
Yeah.
One dude finished first. The other dude finished second.
Yeah. And how did they, without giving too much information away, were you working with them for years, or did they already have a really good strength base?
So I've had the one kid since he was a sophomore or a freshman in college. Okay. But we weren't working out none of that time. We only worked out for 6 months to get ready. And then the other kid I got him maybe 2 years, a year and a half before, but he had a lot of bona fides on him, man. He was a college wrestler. He was a dude, and he went out there and smoke checked the whole program. Now he's smoke checking. He killing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I try to explain to people, right? Like a guy like you got a long way to go because your body doesn't have any of the resiliency it needs to be successful. You don't have no high school athletics. You don't have no college athletics. You don't have no running background or swimming background. Like the swimming isn't that big a deal. The biggest concern to me is that you're getting shin splints anytime you start running. And so to me, that means so I'm going to give you an example. I told this story on Friday Night Zoom last night. It took me 9 months to run 3 miles. 9 months.
Yeah.
Now, everything came so the first 9 months, that summer I ran a couple 4-milers. I was doing pretty good, but it was a solid 6 months. And then that next year I was running.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that next summer, I was on gasoline. That wrestling season, I was murdering people, and I was trucking 12 miles in an hour and 20 minutes like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. But I didn't have, now I'll tell you what hurt me. For the first year, my knees were on fire. Okay. So I had some pains. I had them old knee sleeves, the neoprene knee sleeves.
Yeah.
You're just not going to start running from scratch and it's just going to be easy. And that's why I'm saying for you, to me, the SEALs is oh yeah, I want to be a Navy SEAL. Okay. And I try to explain to people, you're either made for the life or you're not. And if you're not made for the life, you can't fit a square peg in a round hole. It's just, you can't do it unless you just can't do it. But that's why I say a guy like you go Army officer. Okay. You got 3 years to figure it out. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. We got to get the running down no matter what, because you still got to be able to run a 35-minute 5-mile to get infantry at OCS. So my rock star Z Kong just showed up to OCS today. Okay. And he's a rock star, Stanford, dual PhD, rock star, former power lifter. He had a hard time running, right? Had a hard time. We've been working on his running for 3 years now, about 3 years, maybe 4. Okay. Yeah. But his running wasn't good enough for, he went to SOAS and didn't do well. He got to Thursday and he ran out of gas.
He switched. He was at SOAS and then went Army.
Yeah, he didn't get selected. He didn't even finish. He didn't finish SOAS. And now he's murdering. He murdered basic. He will murder OCS, and he will be a rock star in the Army.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's a different standard. I mean, he's just I try to explain this. When you go to SOAS, okay, just call it 60 kids a class. Okay. So 60, 60, and 60. Probably 30 of those kids, 20 to 30 are Naval Academy kids. Out of those 20 to 30 Naval Academy kids, probably 20 could select. So 2/3 of them that show up could select. Maybe even 75%. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
All right. So you're in there competing with a bunch of rock stars.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I didn't realize we had mini buds. I mean, we had selection at Naval Academy. 3 days. I crushed it. I finished second. They didn't want to give me first. I finished first. I murdered that shit. Okay. But my run and swim times weren't very good, right? I ran a 9:30 5 and I swam a 9:35, but I didn't. When I tell you I didn't practice at all, I didn't practice at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but I was in wrestling shape. It was during wrestling season. It was in October of wrestling season.
Crazy. Yeah.
I was in great shape. I just spent all summer wrestling. I murdered it. Okay. Yeah. There were dudes in my selection. John Sanchez ran a 6:30 and swam a 6:30. 6:30. Okay. Jeff Webb was on the triathlon team. I think he went sub-7 in both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And here I am at 9:30, 9:30. At some point, you got to run fast enough. And when I got selected, I was 8:07 and 8:45 run, which was my fastest run by 15 minutes, 15 seconds ever. I'd never ran faster than 9:03 before. Okay. But I was on crack cocaine. I got to send a shout out to my man, Mike Santamoro, urology doctor in San Diego, who paced me on that run. I kept looking over at him like, holy shit, Mike, we're flying. He's like, just keep fucking running. Dog, we were cruising. It was crazy, man. Tom Shear paced me in the swim. Mike paced me in the run. I had the best physical performance of my life somehow. But for me, like, I look at you and I'm just like, man, you go Army, you be a rock star, man. You know, and it's so much more attainable. Okay. So I'm dealing with a guy right now. Okay. Well, I actually got 2 guys out there right now. College degrees, didn't make it. And now they're looking at chip and paint for 5 years. Okay. You go in the Army, you're an infantry officer, you go to selection, you don't make it, you go right back to being an infantry officer. 4 years, you got world-class leadership under your belt, you keep it moving.
As far as prep for those 2 guys, you felt they were prepared as anyone else?
Both of them were prepared, right? But I questioned both of their mental faculties to be able to make it.
Yeah.
And when I say that, like my 2 dudes that rolled out there and shit stomped buds, I assumed that would happen. I have 1 dude that I sent to buds that I thought would make it that didn't make it. Okay. Yeah. I basically have 1 dude I sent to buds that I thought wouldn't make it. He destroyed it somehow. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, bro. It's still a question this day. He's in the teams, killing the teams right now. And I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. But I know this. If you're not prepared now, you ain't going to make it. So like my 2 dudes last summer that went to SOAS, that were running 25 miles a week, that were bullshitting. And 1 dude told me I'll be fine. He made it through the week, but he didn't get selected. And then the other dude fell over on Wednesday and he shit and pissed himself and went to the hospital and his liver and kidneys were shutting down. Okay. And I mean, you know, Z Kong went, he did well. He ran out of gas. And that's why I say, like, cats, it's hard to, you know, there's a lot of people out there selling hope about special operations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm not going to say no names, but there's a lot of guys out there that are saying, if you train hard enough, you can make it.
Yeah.
I'm not in that group.
Yeah, that's why I saw you out.
I'm not in that group. Yeah. Like a guy like you with your background. Like it's going to be tough, man. I'm just saying, like, you told me what you did before we started talking. And here's my deal. Realistically, okay, the Army is going to get into more shit before the Navy ever does. Yeah. Like, you know, the 2 SEALs that just died, right?
Yes, sir. Did they confirm that?
By the way? Yeah, they're dead. That's my guess. They're dead. They passed. I'm not being disrespectful. They didn't find them already. They probably passed, okay? Yeah. But my point is, that was a regular SEAL team doing a real world mission. That's probably the first real world mission in 2 years that we're hearing about, okay, for a regular SEAL team. Now, they may be doing a little bit more stuff, but not much. So if you ain't at Dam Neck, you ain't operating, okay? The Army Green Berets are all over the world operating every fucking day. The Army Rangers, I guarantee you, are over there in Israel and Iran. They're over there in Iraq right now. Okay. But the SEALs, like the white SEAL teams, they don't get to play a lot.
What do you mean by white SEAL teams? Sorry.
Like the regular SEAL teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 9, 10. I think they got rid of 11 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I might be wrong in that. I don't give a shit. Okay. But the regular SEAL teams, if you ain't at Damn Neck, you ain't operate. Whereas in the Army, you're going to have opportunity. But if you want to, like, here's what I tell everybody. You're young enough right now that you can take a year and dedicate it, or 2 years, right? And then if it doesn't work out, you just go to the Army. Because all of the training you're going to do is going to be beneficial for going in the Army.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of, yeah.
But you got to figure out your running. And what I would tell you is I would look at how you're running, right? Video yourself. Maybe get a running coach. Like go down to, you got one of them running stores, East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Okay, so they have these called, I think they're called Runner World stores. You know the little running stores where they got the, like, it's all running shoes? They're like a little boutique.
Yeah.
Fleet Feet or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, go in there and ask them if they got a good running coach. And then just, I mean, you got to pay them a couple $100 to kind of evaluate you and tell you what you're doing wrong, why you're getting shin splints. They'll be able to help you. But more than likely than not, your bones are just weak. It's just going to take you some time, man. I told you, man. It took me 9 months, bro. 9 months.
So 9, like, I'm sure you had a similar experience where you start running within the first couple 100 yards, you start to feel it.
No, I couldn't run. I had asthma real bad. I couldn't run around the block.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not there.
You're not where?
Like I'm not at that. I'm better than that.
You can't run at all. You get shin splints.
yeah. But it's not a cardio issue. I know that doesn't matter though.
It's the same fucking issue. You have an issue. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter what the issue is. I had asthma. You got fucking shin splints.
Yeah.
You either get it figured out or you're not going to make it. But I'm telling you, it's not because you're not trying. It's because you may be trying to do too much too fast.
Yeah.
And your bones got to harden up.
Yeah. Well,
do you shave?
Do I shave?
Yeah.
My legs?
Your head, your face?
I do, yes.
A little bit or a lot?
Do I get a lot of facial hair?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You got baby face. So it may be a maturity issue, right?
Okay.
But this goes back to, if you had been running since you were 15, your bones would have naturally got more. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know, like, I probably could figure out shin splints, like what is shin splints and what the problem is and all that other stuff. But I had them one time. I turned them into stress fractures. I wasn't able to run for like 5 months. It is what it is. But I was 245 pounds.
When you were older?
No, this was in college.
Okay.
I was 245 pounds. I was trying to go wrestle, and I was trying to lose some weight. I was running a lot. I was 245. It was bad. It was really bad. I got shin splints, and then I just kept running because I'm not going to stop running. You know, I David Goggins that shit and ran him right into stress fractures, and then it was bad. But I wasn't taking no multivitamins. I was taking no vitamins before that. And after that, the doctor put me on all the multivitamins, and then I got better. I never had any problems after that. But I've been running since I was 15, 14. Like every day. Not now, but, you know, up to probably 35 I ran every day of my life.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, definitely not.
See, that's what I was saying, Dr. W. Like, that's the difference, right? Like, I was naturally making myself for the life. Accident, like, that's just who I am.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, and that's what's a little like frustrating, you know, because it seems like a lot of people, I don't want to say like stumble into the life, but it's almost like, you know, they were wrestlers and they were cross-country guys, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's the perfect job for you.
Yep. And that's why I tell people, you either made for the job or you're not. I'll tell you this, a guy like you could train for the next 5 years, right? Okay. And you still might not make it, because I'm going to question like the grit factor, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you without a question, you have to go to SoCom Athlete. Okay. Do you know about SoCom Athlete? Okay. So Google SoCom Athlete. It's on Instagram. They have a 1-day hell day. I tell everybody, I used to do my own hell days. Okay. But now I send everybody to my dude Sweet. Okay. You go over there because he's doing the same thing I was doing, but his is a lot more organized than me just beating on you for a night cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
But you go there and you're going to get an evaluation of where you are grit factor wise. Okay. Because he has quitters, but you ain't ready to go yet. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you go test that event out and you say, oh shit, okay. Because I'll tell you this, I had 2 dudes right here in Austin with me. 3 dudes flew into town. We was in a volleyball course. Me, this Army Ranger in town, and my police officer up there. Okay, and my video dude. Okay. So we going at it. One dude, college swimmer, no bueno. Okay, 2 hours in, he couldn't even function. He didn't want no parts of it.
Yeah.
Z Kong was out there. My dude, Z Kong was out there. He did middle of the road. The college wrestler ate that shit up. Lapped everybody on a ruck run. He lapped everybody. So they were running around like it was like 10 volleyball courts in a row. So it's probably like a 150-yard lap.
Yeah.
He was lapping the swimmer. Every 2 laps that he ran, he lapped the swimmer. So the swimmer was running 1 lap to his 2, and he lapped Z Kong every 5 laps. And we ran with a ruck on for like an hour and a half.
Where's that guy at today?
He's making a ton of money. He came from a lot of money. He's making a ton of money for some people in Vegas. I'll just say that. He's making a ton of money, like ton of money. But see, they was trying to make him jump through a bunch of hoops. He's a rock star. He got pissed off. He didn't want to go Army. He didn't want to go Army officer. He thought about enlisting in the SEALs. He didn't want to do that. So then, eventually the dream passed, and now he's making $300,000 a year, and he's good.
Yeah.
But like the wrestler didn't even train for. He just showed up. That dude was also running a 29-minute 5 mile, okay, by accident. He trained. So remember I was telling you about training? He trained for 6 weeks on the PDF and ran a 7:05 mile and a half and swam a 6:45 with
like
7 weeks of training.
That's unbelievable.
But that's what I'm saying when I say he was built for it, right? Like all this college wrestling, all the training directly translated into special operations. What other questions you got, big dog?
I don't know. It's a lot to digest.
That's fine. Think about it. Hit me back. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you ask me where you should go, you really want to know where you should go? Where do you think I'm really gonna tell you to go do?
Air Force.
And do what?
Not PJ.
No. What should you do in the Air Force?
Fighter pilot.
Absolutely. You know why?
Why?
Because you can use all them brains that you have in flight school, and you could go fly F-35s, and then you can get out and make $400,000, $500,000 for the rest of your life working 14 days a month.
I heard the only reason I haven't really considered that is because I heard, and it's funny coming from considering SEALs, but I heard it's a little bit of a crapshoot as far as whether you get to fly what you want. Okay,
I'm going to say this. In the Air Force, they only have a number of squadrons of helicopters. Everything else is fixed wing. So any aircraft you get, even if you get the C-17, you get the C-5, any of the KC-130, any of those aircraft you get, you're going to step out into a $400,000 a year job. So if you really wanted to fly fighter jets, okay, and you didn't get them, you're still going to get the bag at the end of the term. And here's the other thing I'm going to say about that. It's a crapshoot because they didn't get high enough scores.
Yeah, makes sense.
So your aircraft is determined on how your academics play out 99% of the time.
Okay, yeah.
It's not how well you fly the plane. It's how well you do in the books. Okay. And that's where a lot of guys get pissed because they don't want to study and do well in the books. They think it's all flying, but it's not.
Yeah.
I have a guy that just graduated. He's in a rag right now from Illinois. My ball boy, Brandon. Shout out to Brandon. Okay. Brandon Barco. They wanted to give him jets. Kept telling him, hey, man, you can get above 51%. We're going to give you jets. Because he's from a unique demographic. Okay. Finished 49th% in his class. Did not get jets. He's flying egg beaters. Okay, but that's his fault.
Yeah.
He got married during flight school. He had a baby during flight school. He had a lot of man shit going on. He didn't study.
That's the other thing you're big on. You're not going to be in a relationship in the team, right?
Are you married?
No, just a girlfriend of about 6 years.
She ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. That's
unless she's just a different bird, man.
Yeah.
She's independent, different.
Yeah.
Like, is she getting a law degree?
She's not. No.
Was she stay at home? She got a good job?
No, she was an athlete. Now she's gonna do coaching for that. So I think that helps a little bit more because we made it through college, and
Nope.
We didn't see. Yeah,
no. I know one dude that showed up at Bud's with a wife that still has his wife, and she is different. She a great person. Yes, she is an amazing person. My one dude during Bud's that had some problems with his fiance. 14 years later, she walked out on him. I'm just gonna tell you, I burned up real women. Professor at Michigan State, head of some shit at University of Washington, burned them up. Gone. 2 girls had nervous breakdowns on me. In 3.5 years in the team, 2 girls had nervous breakdowns.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
So, yeah, she ain't gonna make it. But how often you talk to her?
Well, she's in Australia right now, so.
How often you talk to her in Australia?
Every day.
Okay. What's the longest period of time you haven't talked to her?
2 months, probably.
Okay. Because you're gonna go 2-3 months without talking to her in special operations.
Yeah, but consistently, right? It's gonna happen more than once.
All the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You heard the story about my mom, right? I checked into Bud's. Middle of October. Hey, Mom, I made it to San Diego. She said the next phone call she got was in June the following year. Hey, come down, I'm graduating. I said, really? She said, yeah, you didn't call home one time. We just assumed like you were doing good because you hadn't called home. I said, shit. But I know I did nothing, man. I ate, sleep. I slept at Bud's. I didn't get an apartment or nothing. Stayed in the barracks. I didn't want no distractions. I lived right there in the environment. Never came out the environment the whole time I was there.
How was your experience at Bud's? Like, do you remember a time where you ever thought about quitting or no?
No, it was easy. I never thought about quitting one time.
Really?
That shit was easy for me. Now, I'm not going to say I had it easy because I cried on a swim.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't realize this. I didn't realize this. The whole class failed to swim except me and another swim pair. Because they were trying to get me kicked out of Bud's. And if I had failed this swim, I would have been out.
Who was trying to get you kicked out?
Instructors.
They didn't like you?
They hated me. I was an animal. They hated me. Okay. Half the instructors loved me, the other half hated me. Okay. Yeah. And so they made the swim extra long. And my swim buddy John punched me in the face. I was swim as hard as I could for 72 minutes. And we ended up passing with a 74-40. No. Yeah, 74-40. 20 seconds. But I didn't realize. I just talked to one of my dudes, Dan Brown, who was in my class. And he said that there was 11 swim pairs that failed the swim. I didn't know. I didn't realize that. I just had to worry about myself. There were some runs I died on. Right? Yeah. I'm not saying the shit was easy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't think about quitting. Wasn't like this shit was too much fun, man. This shit was fun. Yeah. Like I grew up in that lifestyle. I grew up cold, wet, and sandy all the time in Washington State. That didn't bother me. I don't get cold. It was fun.
You don't get cold?
Nope.
Yeah, I get cold. That's another thing. I get real cold.
I'm just gonna tell you. Have you watched the Tennessee swimmer video?
No.
Okay. It says I'm not willing to die. I just cut it up. It's in all my shorts right now.
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't watch it. Yeah.
Go watch that video.
Okay.
Because there's a stud right there.
Yeah.
That could not get back in that 50-degree water. He said I couldn't get back in it. He said you hear him talk about it, man. It's a powerful message. Because if you don't like being cold, I'm just gonna tell you, like either you got to be incredibly tough or you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. I mean, no one likes being cold, right?
I don't care. I don't mind being cold. I don't care at all. I got a California kid in my class that said that was the hardest part of Bud's for him. And he was the honor man in my class. He said, I don't even like going to San Diego because I have PTSD from the cold. And the cold gets a lot of people, brother.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm sure it's a big tool.
I mean, it's not really a tool. It's the facts. You will be 10 times colder in the teams than you were in any part of Buzz. Because there ain't no safety officers. There ain't nobody saying, okay, get out of the water.